My husband abandoned me when I was in active labor and he was in a beer parlor with another woman. I met my husband a few years ago. We dated for 2 years before we got married. And when we got married, few months later, God blessed us with a child. Immediately I got pregnant. Everything changed. This man brought out his real character. He started doing all sort of things. He doesn't sleep at home. He started misbehaving. This man can just leave the house and I will not see him for the next 1 week. He will leave his pregnant wife at home for 1 week and he will gallivant around. Sometimes I call his mom to complain and she will just pet me, she will ask me to just forgive him and she will talk to him, but nothing really changed. So that's how I kept managing his attitude until I got to 9 months pregnant and I was in labor at home. So I called him and I told him I was in labor. Please come home and take me to the hospital. And he told me that he was coming. I kept on waiting for this man. I didn't see him. I would call him, he won't pick his call. So I called one of my friends and she accompanied me to the hospital. When we got to the hospital, I didn't have any money on me. He told me to deposit 45,000 naira, which I didn't have. So I started calling my husband. I called this man over 20 times and he ignored all my calls. I was asking myself, why would my husband, who knows that I'm in active labor, ignore my calls? So I just forgot about it and I relaxed and I started looking for ways to get the money. So while I was there looking for how to get the money and pay so they can attend to me, a friend of mine called me and told me that my husband is in a beer parlor and she saw him. I asked her where the beer parlor is and she described it. It wasn't too far, so I told the hospital people that I was coming. I took a bike and I went straight to the bar. So when I got there, I saw my husband sitting with a lady and I confronted him. I said, I've been calling you, telling you that I was in labor. You ignored my calls and you are sitting here with another woman. He started saying I shouldn't worry, just go home, I'm coming, just go home, I'm coming. I said, go to which home? I was so angry. The whole pain of labor in me, I just took a bottle there and I burst it on the ground. Everybody ran away because the way I was so pissed with my big stomach, everybody was just running. He ran away, his side chick, everybody just ran away. After that scenario, I took a bike and I went back to the hospital. So when I got back to the hospital, I called my sister-in-law and explained everything to her, and she told me to call her husband, which I did, and her husband actually sent me the money and I deposited. Could you believe that this man did not even call me back, come to the hospital? He didn't even know where I was. He went back to the hotel where he had already lodged with his side chick while I was in the hospital. I gave birth to my child and he was not even aware that I had given birth until he came home the next morning and my neighbors were congratulating him. Congratulations, Oga. He was like, congratulations for what? Because my neighbor's wife is also pregnant. So he thought that they were congratulating my neighbor who his wife has given birth. They are like, your wife don't born. It was my neighbor that told my husband that I had given birth. So they gave him powder and he rubbed powder on his body. That was when he took his 2 left legs to come and meet me in the hospital. So when he came to the hospital, I didn't want to make a scene. He was just acting as if he was there when I needed him. I just ignored him and everything went well. So my mom came to take care of me after I had given birth and she came to stay with us. My mom that came to stay with us was the one feeding me and my child, buying pampers and everything. This man did not provide for me. He had money to be given to side chicks, but he couldn't take care of me and my child. And the worst part is that he had an attitude issue even with my mom. So my mom got angry and asked what was the point of her coming to my house if she's the one feeding us. So she said that she was taking me to her place and my husband got angry and said, what's the meaning of that? How would she do that? I said, I don't even understand what this one is saying. Me, I'm going to my mom's place because you can't take care of us, you can't feed us. You are gallivanting up and down while we are here suffering. So the family intervened and they asked me not to leave my husband's house, that it wasn't nice and all of that. So my mom said she couldn't stay and continue. My mom left after 3 weeks of staying with me. Just 3 weeks, and I had to take all the responsibility. I started bathing my child and doing everything myself. The only thing this man managed to do was to get pampers for the baby and baby food sometimes. And that was how I was managing. Currently, my child is 5 months old and I just discovered that my husband is dating a married woman in my compound. I went through my husband's phone and I saw all the chats, how they meet in the hotel and everything. And the most annoying part is that this woman will come to my flat, eat my food, play with my baby, and she's sleeping with my husband. So when I found out, I didn't react immediately. I told my sister about the whole thing. And my sister told me that I should flog that woman very, very well. Since she's very shameless, her husband is in the same compound with us. Since she's very shameless, her husband is in the same compound with us and she's doing this with my husband. So one night I woke my husband up and I asked what exactly are you doing with our neighbor's wife? And he started denying. He just collected her number, nothing is going on and all of that stuff. I didn't say anything. The next day I went to the market and I got grounded pepper, 2,000 naira, very, very hot one. I soaked it in a Ragolis container for good 2 days so that it will ferment very well. So after my mixture had fermented well, I called her one of the days and I told her, please, I want to see you. She came outside and I took her to the corner of the house. I brought out my pepper, which I had already kept there, and I poured it on her face. Immediately I did that, she fell on the floor and she started screaming her eyes. She was wearing a gown. I lifted her clothes and I poured the remaining one in her private area. So as she was shouting, everybody gathered and they started asking what happened. So I explained the whole thing. Now everybody's blaming me, saying I overreacted, that I shouldn't have done that to her. I would have just warned her to stay away from my husband instead of doing that. When this whole thing was happening, my husband was at home. When he came out and he heard the whole thing, he was filled with shame. For good 1 week, this man did not come out of the house. He was always indoor. He couldn't even go to work. He was so ashamed of himself. So when our neighbor heard that my husband had been sleeping with his wife, he chased his wife out of the house. Now the family of the woman are saying that I should go and beg the husband on her behalf so he can accept his wife back, that I scattered somebody else's marriage and all that stuff. And I told them I was not doing that. So for the past 1 week, my husband and his family have been begging me and asking me to forgive my husband. And I told my husband that, you see what I did to that lady, what I'm going to do to you, it will be double. One day you will just eat my food and you will go from there. Right now my husband is even scared to eat my food. If I should give him food, he will beg me to come and taste it first. I say, so you are scared, you don't want to go so soon, but you can sleep with somebody else's wife. I will taste the food and he will eat it. The thing I want to do to him is in my mind. I am just in this house waiting for my salary and saving it so that I can finally dump him.
Okay.